Part 3, the day the river learned humility. Before the first warrior fell, before the first spear touched the ground, the river whispered one final warning: turn back. But neither side listened, because pride had already chosen the battlefield. On one side stood the warriors of Asaba, 10,000 strong. They were not warriors who loved war. They were people who had left their homes to protect everything they loved. At the front of the army stood Prince Elichi, the heir to the throne of Asaba. His heart was heavy, because he knew this battle was not only about a princess, it was about the future of both kingdoms. Across the river, the mermaid army rose from the depths. Their weapons shone beneath the morning light, their armor carried the strength of the waters, and before them stood Prince Arunmala, still proud, still confident, still believing that nothing could defeat him. He looked at the warriors of Asaba and laughed. 10,000 men, against the endless power of the river, you have come to fight a battle you cannot win. Prince Elichi looked at him calmly. We did not come because we believe we cannot lose, we came because there are things worth protecting. The battlefield became silent, then the first weapon flew, and the war began. The river exploded with movement, mermaid warriors attacked from beneath the waters. The waves rose high, the ground shook, the sky filled with the sound of weapons. But the warriors of Asaba did not run, they stood together, because they were not fighting for pride, they were fighting for their home. Izuogu moved through the battlefield like a shadow. His movements were quick, his strikes were precise. The enemy could not understand how one warrior could remain calm in the middle of chaos. Amatobi fought near the riverbank. He moved between land and water with incredible speed. The mermaids believed the river belonged only to them, until they met a warrior who feared no water. But as the battle continued, the cost of war became clear. Every victory came with a sacrifice. The twin brothers Aharim and Ohiram fought side by side. Since childhood, they had trained together. They shared the same dreams, they shared the same battles. They promised each other that no enemy would ever separate them. But war does not always respect promises. A powerful wave crashed into the battlefield. The brothers were separated. Ohiram turned quickly, Aharim, but there was no answer. He searched through the smoke, he searched through the water, until he found his brother lying among the fallen warriors. Aharim was badly wounded. Ohiram rushed to him. No, we promised we would return home together. Aharim looked at his brother, and even in his final moments, he smiled, a smile of a warrior, a smile of a brother. He whispered, then return for both of us. Those words remained with Ohiram forever, and with one final breath, Aharim closed his eyes. For a moment, the battlefield became completely silent, even the enemy stopped. Because courage is respected, even by those you fight. Ohiram slowly stood. His heart was broken, his tears fell, but his spirit refused to fall. He raised his weapon and shouted, for Aharim. The warriors of Asaba answered, for Asaba. Their voices shook the battlefield. Deep inside the sacred forest, the hidden power of Asaba awakened. The ancestors had not given them a weapon of destruction. They had given them the power of balance. The roots of the forest spread toward the river. The waters became restless. The strength of the mermaid army began to fade. For the first time, Prince Arunmala became afraid. He finally understood the truth. Asaba was never weak. They had simply chosen peace. Arunmala looked toward King Kachi. Why did you hide this power? The King Kachi answered, because the strongest person is not the one who shows everyone what they can destroy. The strongest person is the one who has the power to destroy, but chooses peace. Arunmala lowered his weapon. The pride that controlled his heart began to disappear. Because he realized his greatest enemy was never Asaba, it was himself. At that moment, King Alakan arrived. He looked at the battlefield. He saw the pain caused by his son's actions. He looked at Arunmala and said, I warned you. You did not lose because Asaba was stronger. You lost because you refused to listen. The Mermaid King then sent 7 elders from the River Kingdom to King Kachi. They came not as enemies. They came seeking peace. They bowed before the King of Asaba. And they asked for mercy. King Kachi looked at the river. Then he looked at his people. He remembered the warriors who had fallen. He remembered Aharim, and he made his decision. The river would not be destroyed. The mermaids would not be wiped away. Instead, a new agreement would be created, a stronger agreement. The river would remain the home of the mermaids. The land would remain the home of Asaba, and never again would the balance between them be broken. Princess Machi was returned to her people. The 7 villages celebrated her return, but they also remembered the warrior who never came home, Aharim, the warrior who gave his life so others could live, many years later. The elders of Asaba continued telling the story, not to teach children to love war, but to teach them wisdom, because the greatest victory is not defeating an enemy, the greatest victory is controlling the pride inside yourself. And the lesson passed from generation to generation was this: power without wisdom becomes destruction, strength without humility becomes weakness, and peace protected by wisdom can defeat even the greatest force. The end.